Hey,
All good?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Pritesh.
Hi, I'm Charlie.
Charlie is a career coach and an experienced marketing recruiter who recently helped me in figuring out what I want to do with my career.
And Pritesh is an experienced marketing professional who's had a well-refined approach to figuring out what he wants from his career and a robust approach to getting there. So Pritesh, it seems crazy that it was a year ago that we met, started working together as a coach and coachee. I guess if we rewind a year ago, obviously the world looked very different, but I'm interested in for this one to understand as to your mindset and where it was this time last year. Could you just talk us through that in a little bit of detail?
You know, I'd spent 10 years as an all-round marketing person, as a marketer, doing everything from brand, social media, video, websites, events, strategy, everything within one role. And that's what organizations that I was working in, small to medium, wanted. They wanted someone who could do a bit of everything. And then the bigger organizations, and also as digital marketing changed, people were becoming really specialized in each one of those areas. So when I was speaking to recruiters, they were telling me that they could see me in a complete social media role or an events management role or a video production role. And they were going, what do you want to do? And I went, well, I could do that, but I'm not sure if I want to do it completely in isolation or if I've got the skills to do that to the depth of a specialist role. And that confusion was not only making it difficult for me to articulate what I wanted, they found it impossible to place me because they had social media managers and they were like, do you want to apply for that role or not? And it was a harder sell-in for them. So that's where I realized that I needed to do a bit of identity work or professional identity work, or just figure out kind of who I want to be in the next phase of my career. And that's where our paths crossed. I had a need, and I knew that career guidance was important. I have mentors, but they're not marketing specialists. And so I needed someone who knew the market. I needed someone who knew how roles were being defined. I needed an expert, basically, and that's kind of where you fit in. And I think at this point, I just want to demystify how we met, because people think, and I used to think that career coaches or mentors only happen at a certain level of career, or through people are lucky if they find somebody. I've been lucky to have mentors that are just people I've worked with and stayed friends because we've got vested interest. We like each other. We have fun. We support each other's careers, and there's just this real interest to help each other go forward and share expertise and knowledge. And I think the same thing happened with you. Is basically I searched LinkedIn. That's all I did. I was like, okay, I need to find a career coach, and I put career coach in LinkedIn, and you came up. And then I sent you a message, and that was it. It's that simple. If there's no exams you have to take to find somebody. My only advice is spend a bit of time with somebody to know if you get on with them, because essentially you're going to trust them with a lot of your personal knowledge and information, and they're going to try and help you. So those initial meetings are critical for how you feel. Look, when I reached out, you took me through a process. You took me through a journey of discovery, and could you talk us through what that was and how you did that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I was lucky enough to be trained as a career coach by a great leader, and I was in a fantastic group. And I think it helps that I coach alongside doing commercial recruitment work, because it means I'm always aware of the trends and what's actually going on in industry. I guess in terms of the focus, I think that diagnostic kind of call or video call at the beginning is so important, because the fit's got to be there. I think it's like any coaching or counselling work. You've got to feel comfortable working together, and that's I think that's very much a two-way thing. In terms of process, I have a kind of 3-part model, and that's shown in the document that I have on LinkedIn. For me, it's quite a well worked through methodology. So it kind of starts going into something a little bit deeper. So I look at your career story, what your core values might be, your strengths, your passion. I guess over time, some people lose sight of some of that. So it's about finding a little bit more, purpose, self-fulfillment. And obviously that can kind of, become quite an emotional session in some respects. And then it's trying to move forward into something more practical. So kind of session 2 is really about your possibilities. Where do you see your possibilities, your goals, where you might want to be in 5 to 10 years time? So it's something that's quite at that kind of helicopter level. You're looking to try and not put too many boundaries in place at that point. You want to see the great range of opportunities that are in front of you. And then session 3 is really trying to focus in then. Okay, well, this is what we've discovered. This is what, you as an individual feel that you want to go forward with. And then it's trying to find the practical applications of that. So it's about trying to build the strategies that are required to either kind of make a jump into something completely new, or to try and zone in on an area that you really find, that you're really passionate about and you see a future in, and trying to work out more of a practical route into that. And then depending on, what someone may want to cover, we can then go into other sessions which are entirely practical, as we've just discussed, really around building your CV, LinkedIn optimization, how you search for jobs, how you apply for jobs, and then going into even more depth around interview.
Yeah, I can completely vouch for that process, and from a personal experience, that first step it was quite unnerving, because you're feeling I felt quite exposed, and it was about you dissecting all aspects, and what I learned in that phase is the stories that we tell ourselves, the barriers and the challenges that we put up because we perceive that we can't do something. Just you just put it out of reach because you think it's not achievable.
Yeah.
But then that second part of the process, where I was like, okay, give me the answers. Surely now is your time to give me the answers.
Yeah.
Helicopter view of just reflecting, looking at the possibilities, looking at where the parameters could be in that steps. It's like flying, that ability to feel free and then to think openly. That builds your confidence. That was so motivating and inspiring. And then when you get into the practicalities of making that real, by the end of it, I was so much more articulate in what I wanted to do. I was so much more confident, and that's actually retained, because what I realized we were doing is we were resetting my identity, my professional identity. We were forward looking into the future of what it could be, and actually laying a path to that journey. And that clarity is so useful. I wouldn't have got there by myself, and whether you do that with a partner, you only get so far. But your expertise in how the market trends are, the realities of the world, and really pushing that back as a challenge are the things that really helped cut through. So this is not a pure sales pitch to get a coach, but it's a proof point that this really works. And I think that's what I wanted to get out, is going, look, if you're stuck like me, there are people with experience and knowledge and a skill set that can really unlock that aspect for you.
Yeah, and you've got to go into it with an open mind, with the willingness to let some of those boundaries go down, and kind of think about why you're at a crossroads, and what the opportunities could be. And you approached it in exactly that way, and I think you got a lot out of it because of that.
Thanks for watching. To connect with Charlie at Fay & Partners, head over to fayandpartners.com.
And to connect to Pritesh, find him at pchohan.com.